Okay guys, welcome back to Jackmock. So, I'm sorry I haven't posted a video in a while. It's just been so crazy and videos take me a while and the lighting was kind of horrible because where I live it's usually really sunny and it was just hard because it was overcast and I didn't have the lighting wouldn't work, so all that fun stuff. And I was really busy with my school. But let's go on to Helms Deep. So I'm going to release 3 updates. I'm going to release the Helms Deep update, which you are watching, Scarif update, and then I'm building another mock. It's called the Apocalyptic / Destiny mock. So look out for that. That's going to be for a competition. So I cleaned up my studio because I want to kind of show you around my studio and like show you what I kind of do. So if you've watched my week 29 building Helms Deep, then I recommend that you watch it if you haven't, because this update and that update are gonna really rely on each other. So this update I have done a lot. I've added platforms, I've taken away platforms, I've redone things, I've kind of fixed things up that need to be refixed and added things. So all in all, I think that Helms Deep will be done by week 50. I'm hoping that will be. This weekend I'm actually going to go out of town and I'm going to just buy a bunch of Legos. I'm going to a Lego store actually, or Toys R Us. I'm going to see which one has better deals there. Because the Toys R Us has a bunch of like gray sets, because you know they're closing down. And sets that have a bunch of gray pieces and they're cheap, heck yeah, I'm going to buy it. But I could go to a Lego store, do pick-a-brick, then I'm going to do that instead. So Helms Deep is getting along great. I'm saving up for Urkai, so that's why I'm not going to spend too much money on the bricks. I'm saving up for Urkai, so that maybe by week 36 I can finally boast that I have bought a lot of Urkai. So structure-wise, everything is going to stay the same. I'm going to kind of explain to you because you can probably see some of the mountain from here has been taken away. I would have to check. So I think that Helms Deep equivalent right now is maybe about 50,000 bricks just right now. Even if you just kind of sit here and look at it, it's insanely large. And I also, here's my last announcement. I got my Lego order in, if you haven't watched my video, and I've done so much back here. So I tried to release an update, but the device I released it on couldn't completely publish it. So I tried multiple times. And I thought it was published, but when I checked my channel, I was kind of like, oh snap, it didn't. Oh boy, oh shoot. So that's what sadly happened. Otherwise, you guys will have gotten an update about a week and a half ago. So I apologize for that. But all in all, I think that Helms Deep looks great. I've done a lot of rock work and some other things, so let's get to it right now. So guys, let's start this update from back here where I can show you the entire Helms Deep. So Helms Deep all in all is in really large in proportions. So the highest point, which is the tower, is about 3.5 feet high. It's 5 feet long and 3 feet wide. So really large model. I think that all in all it'll be one of the biggest Helms Deep models out there. So it takes up basically most of an 8-person table. So let me give you a tip real fast. So you might notice all this space right here. You're like, well, what am I doing with all this space? Well, I cleaned it off, number one, so it looks better for y'all. And number two, that's why I always recommend you do, is that on your table you have at least one portion of your table where it's blank or empty, so that you can like get a Lego platform and you can build. So like let's say I was building this part by part. I don't just stick it up right next to it immediately start building. I started right here and then I attached it. That's what I did with all these back here. I was actually going to do a time lapse on that, but I didn't have the time to. So here, so you might notice from the other update, I had one platform right here and one right here. like, where'd that go? Well, I took it off because it's just common sense. Why would you have a bunch of basically caves that stick out all the way back here, and then Helms Deep ends right here. The line is right there. Well, there are multiple answers to this question. Number one, it would look goofy. Number two, it wouldn't flow well with the entire model, because if it stuck out this far, then it would kind of look like I didn't plan it really well. Like, it would look good, it just wouldn't be planned well. So if it kind of flowed with the Helms Deep, it would look really, really good. So I think that so far the caves are going great. There are 3 platforms now. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And so I'm trying to cover up most of the filter bricks / color bricks. Alright, so here's the other tip. You can either use the term filter bricks / color bricks. It doesn't really matter. I prefer to call them color bricks. I just use the term filter bricks because I know I have some subscribers who use that term. So it'll be easier for them to understand as well. So just in case you don't know what I'm talking about, and it doesn't matter which one. So a lot of filter bricks. So far this is about 1,000 pieces so far, and it's just the basic structure. Actually no, it's about 2,000 pieces. It's really tough too. I can bang on basically all parts of it except the waterfall and the pillars, and it won't really break. So here's the line. I've explained this before, and it's going to go all the way down, and the mountain is going to just shoot up like that, and it's immediately going to stop, and it's just going to look really good. So the pillars, these 2 pillars are going to be holding the roof up. This one isn't. This one is just for detail. So you might notice, why do I have all this rock work around that pillar and not around these? It's just I'm doing the basic structure for these first. I can't just go and add a bunch of details all of a sudden. So I need to fix that. And the path. The path is the other main thing. I noticed in the movies and basically drawings and art of Helm's Deep that all the caves have paths. So I'm building paths like this, just all the way around, just to kind of give it more life, because the caves in here look really well. They're just really, I'm sorry that you can't really see them good. It's because that they're so deep that it's just insane. So you might notice little filter bricks right there. I need to cover those. And the other thing you might notice is this disgusting brown. So I'm going to cover up all that brown. Don't worry. I'm going to use, see how I used the pieces right here for this type of rock work? That's what I'm going to do right here. I'm going to cover up every single bit of that brown. So as soon as you watch this video, you might have noticed that. So don't worry, I'm going to fix it up. And you can see the blacksmith in there. It's so hard to get lighting in here because of basically how deep the caves are. But I will do a slide show when Helm's Deep is done of every single cave and everything to make it look so you guys can see what I see. Because it's really hard with this camera. Because I've given up on the other device because it just won't publish videos. So I have to stick with this one. So the caves, you can see, kind of slowly go up at an angle from 1 brick high to 3 bricks high. I purposely intended that because those are kind of flat, the caves in there, and it doesn't look too exciting to me. Honestly, when I go and see caves, I want to see something a little bit more exciting than that. That's why I decided to build these caves, because I thought, okay, I want to build something super exciting, I might as well do that. So over here the rock work is kind of like the boulder. I'll show you guys that in a minute. It looks really good. It looks like rock work. I just need to add some pieces right here, and fill in around like that. And right here I'm going to build these boulders kind of like I did with this. And I'm going to stick them in the Technic bricks with the pins. You can see I already put the pins in. I did that because basically I need to make sure that all of it's sturdy with the Technic and all that fun stuff, because Technic is actually holding up most of this model, because Technic is extremely tough. I consider it the toughest building technique you could use in any model, because of basically how useful it is, and basically, like, you know, how tough it is. So right here are going to be more caves, and there's going to be a giant pillar bigger than any of these right here, and there'll be a smaller one right here. So I'll build another boulder to stick right here so that it kind of doesn't look like an L, so it's not like a really sharp angle, because that wouldn't look too good for rock work. That would be good for a wall, but not for rock work. So I think I've covered everything. If you think I didn't cover everything, tell me in the comment section so I can. But all in all, it looks really good. The waterfall adds some great touch to it. When I'm planning before week 36 to make sure to cover up all of that, because it looks really horrible to me. And if most of that is going to show, it's going to look really bad. So let's go on to the outside, everyone. Okay guys, so here's the outside of Helms Deep, and guess what? I covered up all the filter bricks. Yay! There are just maybe a couple parts like I need to work on right here and right here and right here. Kind of work on that big empty space. But for this main structure, I covered it up, and it looks actually really, really cool. Let me get the light over here. Shoot. There's my thermos, but here's how it looks. Really, really cool. All in all, it's a really, really great model. It flows really well. It's not too much and it's not too little. It's about right. So I'm gonna you see how I made this kind of flow right here. That's what I'm gonna do for right here, right there, and maybe the ends, because it needs to be. So one thing I want to discuss is no more ladders. I'm not going to make any more than those two big ladders. I will make the small ladders for that wall, but for the big wall, no more ladders, because I think that if I see... Let me step back to explain to you guys. When I step back, when you see 3 ladders, you think, oh wow, that's interesting, but it takes away so much from the build. Like I've discussed this in other videos, I want to make sure that it's all equal, that one part doesn't take away from the other, so that like the entire model flows. It's kind of like building a Lego city, and one part is overdone, one part is done right, and one part is underdone. One part will take away from the others, and it won't look as good. That's why I'm trying to make everything flow. So I'm adding random gray bricks, as you can see, and I'm gonna add them all the way around, because so that they can add some more texture to the model, make it look nicer. Oh, and here's the boulder, by the way. Looks really cool. Okay, fell out of position a little bit. There, that's the position. So Urkai, I've been finding some Urkai. I haven't attached all of them, but here are 2 berserkers, 2 spears, and 3 regular, I guess, swordsmen or sword orc. And here's one archive loading the ballistas. Yes, those are called ballistas. So they're going to be called in these videos as Urkai ballistas. And that's the other thing I want to discuss. Since I'm expanding Helms Deep, should I just make 2 of these? Just keep these 2, or should I make more? Because what I noticed in the movie is that there's at least 2 and at most 6. So how many should I make? I'm thinking I should maybe build at least 1 or 2 more, just so that it doesn't, like I just discussed, I want to make it flow, and I think having a bunch of those would take away a little bit from the model. So if I was going to build another one, I'd stick it about right here, right where the elves are, right there, that I put to show you for scale how big this model is. So all the way down is where I'm going to cover up with either filter bricks or these plates. So the plates I really need. So if I go to a Lego store and I see them, I'm going to buy a bunch of them. So I can cover up most of the filter bricks, so that I can at least have the floor done. The complete floor, nothing else, nada, all done. Because it needs to be done, because it would be a shame if I just had all the walls and the floor wasn't done and all of that. So I need to make sure that it's all worked on. So I'm trying to make it like, I'm not really planning, except for this part. Right here is where the Gandalf and Éomer and one other Urkai soldier are going to be charging down. So I think it will look really, really cool, all in all. So I think that like them charging down would look really, really cool. And I think it wouldn't take away from the model. If you think it would, tell me. But I'm not going to make, I think I might make like Éomer, Gandalf, and one horseman. Because if I think I make over 5, then it'll take away from the model. So you might have noticed the little river. I'm making a couple more of these. Like I've started one right here. And I'm going to make one that flows like right there and right there. Just to add some detail to the model, some more life, if you know what I mean. Because the model isn't just completely battle. Like that, the caves are proof. It wasn't just the battle. So here's the other thing. So there are a couple things I need to work on, such as like just basically the all in all, like just work on the foundation for all of the walls. So I'm gonna go over the wall. Switch past. Scoot this down. So this isn't attached, as you can see. It's basically 2 gray platforms stuck together. And here's another tip: always keep at least 2 Lego disconnectors out so that you can use them. Because I use those bad boys constantly because they're my Lego building friend. They're needed. So the wall looks really good. I'm sorry that I have some pieces scattered, but that proves I've been building. So here's the wall, and here's the thing. You might have noticed all this water right here. It's because the wall's going to be blown up. I know that many Helms Deeps do make it where the wall is blown up. No, sorry, not blown up. The Urkai Berserker is running at it. I know it's one of my favorite scenes, but if most Helms Deeps do that, why would I do that? I think that I should make Helms Deep stick out a little bit more, make the wall blown up with elves charging down. So here's where most of the elves are going to be. I'm going to buy more elves. As soon as after I buy Urkai, I'll buy elves. Then after I buy elves, I'll buy men, more men. So it looks really, really cool so far. You can kind of see what I'm doing, kind of making it more sloped, because this is the wall right here, guys. This is it. And then this is the outside. It just kind of starts to flow up. That's what I'm shooting for. Here are 2 elves. That's the type I'm going to make. Let me take one out for you. So it's basically elf, basically a shield, a sword, a red cape, and that's it basically. So you might have noticed this, the structure for this before. Here, let me put this elf down. I'll fix them later. But you might have noticed this wall. That's what I'm going to do all the way down so that it can, so I can see like how big the wall looks, if it needs to be shorter, if it needs to be higher, because I could get away with making stairs to this door right here. I could get away with it. I wouldn't be able to get away if it was more than like 3 bricks high, but like maybe 1 or 2, sure, what the heck, I could get away with it. So it's going to be about this high so far. That's what I'm planning. I'm going to do that all the way down. And I'm going to make it where the piece right here slides in. Instead of it being connected to the floor, I'll make it slide in for purposes for measurement. And also that it can be, all in all, easier to transport. Because for this model, I'm going to be entering it in a competition. It's, because I live in a poor state, basically, in the U.S. So not many Lego... there are not many Lego competitions out there, but I do have the fair, and the fair is very big actually where I am, and I can actually enter Lego competitions. If you've watched my Battle of Ifscar video, that's basically what I entered last year. So this year, the bad boy Helms Deep is going to hit it. And don't worry, I will make sure to bring it back in one piece. So I'm going to also try to make it flow with the Homburgs. That means adding rock work right here and Technic bricks to make sure that it doesn't slide too much, because I want to make it stick so that, you know, some like little snotty kid or something goes and touches my model when I'm not looking and messes it up right before the judges come, then I'm doomed. Versus if I connect it by Technic and he went like this, and it won't mess it up, that would save my life. Trust me, I've seen that happen before. That's why I'm like, I know you probably think I'm crazy. I know that's happened before, and even the judges have tried to move my model before. I actually entered one Helms Deep once, and oh my gosh, they moved it and they messed up it all. So if you're a judge and you're watching this at the New Mexico State Fair, no offense, but like, don't do that ever again. So all in all, this model will be spectacular. I'll do a time lapse of me doing the structure for this wall. So let's go on to back here. Okay guys, so this is the best lighting I could do for this section of Helms Deep. I even completely turned the model around for you guys, so I apologize if it's not good enough, but that's basically what I can do. So I made a bunch of soldiers charging through. You can see more in there defending the gate. But sorry, I know you're probably like, use the lamp, but I can't really because then the camera gets all weird. So this is what I did with my Lego order. I built this giant section and completed the outside wall completely, except for a little section right there. But besides that, oh my gosh, it is H-U-G-E huge. It's all in all one of the biggest models I think I will ever build, because just look at it from the back. You've seen it from the front, here's it from the back. There are the caves, the Homburg, and then the inner walls, and then there will be the caves right there, and then the back. So all in all, that it's as cool from the outside from the front as it is from the back. But you might notice some filter bricks. So let me explain what right here, then I'll go on to the rock work and then this. So I'm working on this right here because it was originally to right here. So now I'm working on finishing up all the filter bricks from the wall of the model. So I think that honestly that it looks really good. I just have a couple here and there that need to be fixed. And while I was building this, actually guys, a bunch of the rock work fell apart right there. So I'm still trying to basically rebuild it. So you might notice some right here, some right there, some right there. I know it all needs to be fixed. And then you might notice some right here. It's because I basically have been redoing parts of Helms Deep. Sorry, Helms Deep, because, sorry, my voice is off, guys. Helms Deep, because there are just parts that need to be fixed up that basically got broke, basically. So I need to kind of fix things like that. But all in all, looks really good. So the rock work right here flows really well with this side of the model. I'm trying to make it flow more right here. I'm fixing up right here. That's the part I was actually going to do today, but then I remembered, oh yeah, I need to do a video. So this is the part that needs to be fixed up the most. So I'm going to make the rock work, you know, just look a lot better right there. And then after that, I might start all the rock work for right here. But so there's a little walkway from right here. I'm going to add a door, don't worry. If you actually guys, if you think that it doesn't need a door, say don't leave a door, but sorry, don't put a door. But if you guys think it does, please put it, because my opinion is that it looks good either way. It's just I'm trying to decide if I added a door, would it be a little bit too much? But I think that it would look good. So right here's a walkway, and it just leads to right here. So I'm gonna maybe make like one soldier running in here, like he's getting ready to defend, or maybe he was late for the battle. Either way, you know, he's gonna get busted. So in here is the dining hall, but I'll go on to that in a second. So from the wall, I'm going to go actually onto the wall first. So the wall is complete all the way around except for this little part right there. But all in all, looks really, really good. Banners, you might notice some torches. These torches are actually insanely legit. So I got minifigure hands and just all the way around. And then they're on this little, like, I'm gonna call it telescope because that's what they're mainly used for. And just like that, and I have a bunch of them all the way through. You can notice, and then some flags, and it just all around looks really good. I have an equivalent of 40 figures up here. So that's a lot of defenders. So I estimate all in all there will be 70 defenders for Helms Deep, and maybe about 40 elves and maybe 100 plus Urkai. So that all in all will probably, all in all, it might sum up to a good 500 figures in the end. Because not to mention women and children. Because I could make 20 or 30 of them, because I'm trying to make this a minifigure scale model. But all in all looks good. Oh, the dogs. I also want to show, I found a bunch of Lego dogs in my collection when I was cleaning out my studio. That's why it looks so nice. And I thought, oh my gosh, dogs would be useful because you saw them in Helms Deep, so I'm going to add some in here. And I'm also going to give you guys in a minute, I also moved this so that you guys could see the cave, so that I can actually plug in a couple lamps and that I could show you guys what's in the caves. So that's why this is going to be a longer update. So before we go on to this, I'm actually going to go on to the caves because I know you guys are looking forward to this, and inside here, it's just that I want to make this kind of the finale, the climax of the video. So let's go on to the caves. Is that a lot better or what? So you can see the blacksmith cave. No, sorry, the armory. Here's the blacksmith working on sharpening a sword. He fell over a little bit. Let me grab that blacksmith. So I actually, most of my minifigs for Helms Deep are actually from the old knight. So you can see this apron and this knight with a new dwarf beard that I got. He's holding a knife and is sharpening it. So, no, sorry, hammering it back into place, because if you can recall, Rohan left a lot of basically a lot of swords and stuff here. So basically the blacksmiths were, okay, we're going to fix this up and do all of that. There are a lot of weapons racks, as you can see, and there's a statue, and oh, here's another detail that you guys will like. So in this set, the Pirate Ship Ambush, which is, by the way, one of the best Lord of the Rings sets, you get these two maps. And let me, you won't be able to see them well, but this map actually right here, let me put it down. If you can read it, it says Gondor. So this is actually a part of like maybe Helms Deep. Helms Deep would be a little bit over here, because I have the Lord of the Rings map over there, so I know where they're talking about. These are some of the best prints you could probably ever get for any set. So let me zoom in. There we go. This is actually Umbar. So the pirate ship is the Umbarans, and this is their homeland. So they made a little map because, you know, they all need to get home to their mamas, if you know what I mean. So in the end, right? Everyone should. So looks really, really cool. Let me show you this cave. So this is kind of like the pre-armory. This is the ending. A couple pieces got stuck, so I had to re-jam them out. But it looks really cool. I added a statue. These pieces right here I used throughout Helms Deep because they're just naturally really legit. And they look really medieval. So sorry about the pillar, guys. So you can see a bunch of, basically a bunch of bags and all of that in the beginning of the caves. Looks really nice, flows really well. And then let's go on to the caves themselves. So they're I dropped this piece. Let me put it back real quick. There we go. So this is the caves basically. Looks really nice, little water, but that's nothing compared to the little lake right here. Here's a village. Here's a villager, a woman villager, and then here's Eowyn, my custom Eowyn figure, just kind of walking, minding her own business while her fellow comrades die. I had to do that joke. I apologize. And you can kind of see, like, you can see that little Technic pin, and the bricks. they just kind of add detail except for the pin. The pin dropped because I've been fixing this mountain up. So all in all, looks really good. You can kind of see the design that I'm going to use right there because these two caves really need to flow. So you got to see the caves, so take that off the bucket list. It looks really nice. And you can kind of see why I want to do more than these caves because I just needed to. So let's go on to that cave. Okay guys, I actually feel kind of embarrassed that it's week 32 and I haven't showed the caves, so I'm really sorry that I haven't shown them before, but here you guys go. So this is kind of a smaller armory, bunch of barrels, more of those awesome pieces as you can see, and just some old like medieval castle type. So the reason that I'm using a little bit more black is to add some more shadowy cast. And over here you might see like maybe a little shrine or something. It basically depends on what you would call it. I guess a tree is growing. The reason I use the tree is because they have one in Gondor, and I thought, hey, Rohan might have one, so I made a tree right there. There are torches, and it looks all in all really good. This could be like a little mining area slash like maybe an armory. I'm not too sure. I'm still trying to decide what to do with it. So out here, part of the caves, you can see a bunch of things that need to be done, such as you need to cover up those filter bricks and some filter bricks right there, slash color bricks, and then I need to cover up this. So all in all, the caves look really, really good. It leads to the armory through this way. So it kind of flows really well. I'm really happy on how the caves turned out. I'm sorry again that I haven't shown them before. So here's basically the stables. So the stables are part of the Hamburg, really tall, and it's just two horses, and they're not tied or anything. There's a bunch of just random tan pieces just thrown right there to give like instigation of hay. Sorry if I'm not right on the word. And then I actually succeeded on something else. You may notice that this is at a little bit of a slope right here. I actually did that on purpose to give it some edgy feel. It was so hard to do that, kind of give it that little bit of slope, but I succeeded while everything else is completely straight. So you might see here it is. See how it's just I wanted something out of the ballpark cool. So like basically rock work with this little section off the end looks really cool. Except it affected this a little bit, so I need to fix that. I need to cover up right here and these little cracks right there. So let's go on, everyone, to the main wall. So it's basically U-shaped, looks really, really good. I'm really proud of myself on how it turned out. So it's 9 inches high from here to here. These are just the start of the wall on top of it. But here's the horse banner made of, it's hard to tell. Let me flip it up if I can. Oh yay. So here's the horse banner. Looks really, really cool. It's, sorry, it's at a little bit of an angle. I wonder why. But here's the horse on it, and it's dark green, indicating Rohan, and they're basically they're called the Horse Lords in Middle Earth because they're known for their riders and how skilled they are when it comes to horses. So here's their horse banner. It's really iconic to Helms Deep, actually. And here's the little bridge that leads from the main fortified structure to the outer wall. Looks really, really cool and flows all along the outside. There are no filter bricks hiding at all. It's just a little bit harder to see right here. Let me get around for y'all. There, looks really, really cool. I think all in all it flows really well. So here's the inside. It's basically the feasting hall. There are 2 doors right here. I guess this little flame fell off right when I thought my studio was clean. So the doors open up. I made one with the door handle and the other without, just to, you know, because it's Helms Deep, it's kind of broken and the doors are old and things like that. In here it's just pure black, just right there, just to, you know, so that you can't see what's behind it, so no one will wonder, hey, is there like a secret passageway or something? Like, I could have made one because I have all this filter brick to color up, but I think that would kind of be a waste of pieces because I don't think many people would pay attention to it as much as like maybe the mine shaft or the Hamburg. So tables everywhere, and then the king's throne, and then torches are a really nice asset. So the roof can completely come off. I'm not just going to do it. I'm not going to do it for you guys right now because it's a little bit of a stunt to do because it takes a little bit of time. So all in all, I think that Helms Deep is awesome in proportions. I'm really pleased on how it turned out. So I will cover up all the filter brick, and I will also do a bunch of other things. So let's end the video, guys. Hey guys, I hate to see an update closed up, but I still have a couple announcements. So I will not do any other updates this week due to time, and because since I have to go out of town, I have to pack. So I think that Helms Deep is getting along really, really well. I think that all in all, that it's on schedule. I think if it was off schedule, then I would say that. But I think it's actually ahead of schedule. I'm predicting week 50, the entire model should be done. I'm going to try my best to, so that leaves me about 18 weeks to finish. That's a pretty large amount of time, so I think that it should be done before the competition is, it's in October, so that's when I'm going to take Helms Deep. So if it's not done before then, I'm going to have to make sure to make a model, but if it's not, it should be done by October, guys. Like it's April. That leaves me a good almost 5 months. So I would say that's a pretty good time span. So I will do a video when I get my pieces when I'm at the Lego store. The only reason I wouldn't is if let's say my phone died, or basically the employee said we don't want you to do that. And I don't want to get kicked out of the Lego store that I'm going to buy Legos from. So I think that I will do one, so please look out for that because I will explain what type of pieces I'm going to buy and buying options and why one piece is more expensive than the other. So I hope you enjoyed this video of Jackmox. Please leave your feedback and thoughts. And as always, have a great day and keep on building.